And now, from your local election headquarters, the only locally produced political talk show discussing the issues that matter to you. This is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
Well, thanks for being here for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. I'm Victor Sotelo. We start with what's making political headlines across the nation, state, and the big country. And we begin with the topic of homelessness. Right now, Abilene is being used as an example across the state to effectively end veteran homelessness. KTAB Austin Bureau reporter Wes Rappaport explains.
Where I'm going to eat tonight, where am I going to sleep tonight?
For more than 5 years, Marine veteran Christopher Walker did not have a place to call his own. Thanks to an effort between the city of Abilene and organizations in the region, he now has a home and the treatment he needs.
My depression, my anxiety, my PTSD that I suffer from, it's gone way down. I was unmedicated and untreated at the time.
Abilene officially became the 9th city in the nation to find permanent housing for all of its veterans. They created a system of caseworkers, data tracking of the population of veterans experiencing homelessness, and brought together housing and veteran groups.
I am so proud to stand here on this day with the achievement that not just the mayor or individual, but Team Abilene has accomplished today, and that's something all of us can be proud of.
State Senator Don Buckingham says other cities across the state and the country should look at Abilene's model.
We're all looking for a best practice that helps folks, and I think we all want to support our veterans.
The Texas Veterans Commission provides grants for housing and other general help like food, rent, utilities, counseling, and job training. Buckingham hopes tapping into some of those resources will curb homelessness in the state for those who've served our country.
You can't feed everyone and take care of everyone for every day of their life, but you can provide opportunities through education, through retraining, helping them get jobs, get them up instead of a handout.
I think I'm on the right path. It's definitely a path I want to stay on.
And sticking with the topic of homelessness, a social media post made by Police Chief Stan Standridge stirred conversation across the city about homelessness. KTAB's Mercedes Hernandez talked with the chief and the panhandler mentioned in the chief's post.
A social media post from Police Chief Stan Standridge has many wondering what is the best way to help their neighbor. The post says this man, often seen at intersections in the city, is not what he appears to be, a homeless person asking for help.
In the course of conversation with the officers, he disclosed that he is not homeless. He lives at a Southside residence. He's dropped off on a daily basis, and he talked about how much money he is making.
Chief Standridge says it was during that same conversation that the man allegedly told police that he can make up to $1,000 in a weekend, causing many to bill him as a scam artist. However, the man, who did not want to be on camera, told me people have only assumed he's homeless and that panhandling is the only way he can make money because he's not able to work. Police Chief Standridge says the intention of his post was not to shame the man or ignite emotions, but to inform others about what he believes to be the best way to help those in need.
You're going to do nothing to address homelessness in this city by giving $5 out the window. But if you give $5 and I give $5 and we all give the money to nonprofits who specialize in ending homelessness, then we can actually make an impact.
Catherine Bisson with Abilene Hope Haven and the West Texas Homeless Network says that donations to nonprofits like hers can fuel more resources for those that might even be too afraid to step into an agency and ask for assistance.
We want to be able to reach out to people that might have had bad experiences with agencies, or their barriers are so high that they're unable to come to us.
The man says he plans to keep panhandling, which Chief Standridge says he has the right to do as long as he follows city ordinances. However, he encourages him and others like him to reach out for the services they need.
There's a better alternative. Are you willing to embrace that?
In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Mercedes Hernandez, KTAB News.
All right, thank you, Mercedes. And moving now on to news about Abilene's recycling program. Some major changes are being made to it. As of now, only 2 items, plastics and glass, are no longer accepted, but KTAB's Jessica Rank explains that could be changing.
The city has put a stop to both plastic and glass, but the way this recycling market is going, it could only be a matter of time before those items include both cardboard and paper.
I've been in this business since 1987. Lord knows I don't want to quit. I mean, it's where I started, and it's sad for us to see it where it is today.
The plastic Wayne Lanham is standing in front of wouldn't have been that high just a few months ago.
The city, us, municipalities all across the United States are trying to figure out, what do we do? How do we handle this?
It's a problem that's been piling up, and the city says it all boils down to what's going on overseas.
Other countries throughout the world have indicated that they're no longer willing to accept certain types of products.
They're pushed to make their country more environmentally friendly and not receive our trash or our waste that we couldn't handle here.
So no third party means there's nowhere for these items to go but the landfill. A rip in the market that's causing these prices to go up.
We're getting to a point where it costs us more to process and bale and ship the paper than we can get for it.
And the only way to pay for it would be taking money out of your pocket.
And the residents and the citizens of Abilene are already taxed with making other things happen. You add recycling to pay for it, and it's never been that way.
I surely don't want people to have the perception that, well, you know, Abilene doesn't want to recycle. No, we do want to recycle, all right? But we also have to run a business, and we have to make sure that it's sustainable.
The city hoping a company will step up to repurpose these items before these bins no longer have a purpose. In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Jessica Rank, KTAB News.
And coming up a little later in our show, we have an in-depth conversation about the future of recycling in the Key City. Now to our eye on Washington. One of the most powerful Republicans in the United States House of Representatives is not going to seek re-election. District 11 Congressman Mike Conaway of Midland, he announced that during a news conference in Midland.
There are three ways to leave the House of Representatives. Feet first on a stretcher. You get beat, or you choose your time to leave. And I would much prefer the best of the three. And
District 11 includes 29 counties stretching from New Mexico border across to the Metroplex, and 11 counties in the Big Country and the Heartland from Scurry to Mills. Congressman Conaway is serving his 8th term after being elected for the first time in 2004. He became the first Republican to serve West Texas in District 11 since it was created in 1883. Congressman Jody Arrington, who represents most of the rest of the Big Country, released this statement. Mike Conaway is not your typical politician. He is unmatched. He has an unmatched work ethic, impeccable integrity, and is equal parts conservative, compassionate, and common sense. I will always be grateful for the opportunities Mike gave me during my first term and for his friendship. And of course, we will be following the entries into the field for the next year's election to replace Mike Conaway here on your local election headquarters. And still to come here on Big Country Politics, the future of recycling in the Big Country, an in-depth conversation with the City of Abilene. We're back in 2 minutes.